Ted. If you're not familiar with this, most Tuesdays I like to interview interesting people I come across on LinkedIn or introduce through different events. And this week we have Natalie King, who I really resonate with because I'm a big introvert and you help coach introverts. Welcome, Natalie.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, not only do I coach introverts, but I am a big introvert too. So this is great. One-on-one conversations. This is what introverts love.
What's interesting, I'm doing this thing called 750words.com where it prompts you to write every day 750 words, and then it kind of tells you what you're writing, your style, something new they've added. And I write like an
Mm.
extrovert, but I'm introvert. I'm sure I'm an introvert. I'm just Mr. Shy.
I've heard of that 750words.com. I've never really done anything with it, but it sounds like it's something worth looking into.
Yeah, it's $5 a month. Now it's minimal expense, and it just prompts you to write every day. Perfect. I like to write by hand when I'm journaling, but the 750 words just makes me really write 750 words, which is a lot. It really makes you really think, like, today I didn't want to write. So I just started writing and random things just come out. And you get to the end, it's like, oh, that wasn't too bad.
Mm. You get used to it. It's like exercise, isn't it? You get used to it.
Right.
So how many pages roughly is 750 words?
3 pages. So if you're writing a book, you can write a book in no time.
Mhm. And 3 pages is what I don't know if you've heard of the morning pages
Yeah.
by Julia. I can't think of her surname at the moment, but you can do the morning pages, which is 3 pages, so it's 750 words.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
but you're going to talk about confidence as a superpower today.
Oh, what would you like to know about confidence?
Well, we all want more of it, right? There's times where we're super confident, other times we're not so confident.
So one of the things that really was like that light bulb moment for me that made me realize, hang on a minute, this is possible, is when I realized and found out that confidence is a skill. You can develop it, you can learn it, you can do things that can help you to build your confidence. And when I learned that, I was like, oh wow, I can become confident. I can do this, because I always believed that I could never be confident. And I come across a lot of people now who they say to me, I've never had confidence, so therefore I can't ever become confident. And now I can say to them, actually, that's not true. You can become confident. But like any skill, you got to practice, you got to do it, you got to learn it, and you got to implement it in your life, in your routines. But you can become confident. And that for me was when I realized that it was like, it was almost like I could put my own cape on and become like a superhero myself,
Yeah.
stand on the roof and pretend to jump off. Not really, but that's how I felt. Like a kid who stands on the roof just dreaming that they can be Superman.
Right.
And that's when it was like, it's like ding, 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 ding going on in my brain. And I was like, yes, I can do this. And if I can do this, anybody can do this.
Oh, that's great. It's just kind of flash back to my mother growing up. Every time I'd ask her something, it's always a default answer of no. She just kind of, oh, don't do that. You can't go skiing because you'll break your leg. You can't do that. You'll get hurt.
Hmm.
You can't do that. We don't have money. Just
And that shrinks confidence because you don't try something.
right.
You're always worried, oh, I'm going to break my leg, or I can't afford it, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And that almost shrinks the confidence in you. It like hides it under a lot of other things. And then when you do realize you can do it and you start to say yes to stuff, it might be scary. It
Hmm.
might feel daunting to do it. But if you do it, you start to feel confident. You start to become more confident, and you start to know that you've got confidence in you.
Yeah, mine started with, I guess, I was a really fast runner. So I always would race and I'd win. And then when I ran on the track team, that built my confidence. And it was like, it really shocked my parents. Like, oh, he's actually good at that. I was like, kind of look back on it, I was like, my parents were always like negative about things. And then you prove them wrong and you get your confidence.
Mm, mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So what was like a turning point for you when you discovered you could be that superhero? Was there like one event or anything?
It was a more a process, more a couple of little events. So I'm going to share just two of them with you today. Is I used to be part of an organization called Toastmasters International, big in America,
Yeah.
started in America. But I started to go to this event because I started my own business, my first business, and I realized I needed to talk to people. I had no confidence. I lost the skill to just socialize, to just talk with people. And somebody said, join a public speaking organization. I mean, what's one of the top fears? Public speaking.
Right.
But I did it. I did it because I just thought I need to not have to look for another job and I need to grow my business. And part of that is talking to people. It took me 6 months before I stood up and did any sort of speaking. And then there's a whole program that you work through. But by the time I got to the fifth speech, and I can still I can't remember all my speeches that I gave at Toastmasters, but I remember this speech. It was All My Friends, I entitled it, and I was talking about characters in Terry Pratchett novels. I don't know if you've ever read any of Terry Pratchett.
No.
Very fantasy. He has witches. He's got wizards. He's got almost his main city is almost like based on London, and it's all it's got a good sense of humor in that. And I love these books, and I love reading them. And I just made a speech on them. You know, the characters that I liked and why I liked them. And I stood up, gave my speech, really enjoyed it, and I sat down, and it was like, man, I really enjoyed that. That's fun. I want to do it again. And that
Yeah.
was the first time I didn't sit down and think, oh, that's it. I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm quitting. It just had that flip. And I mentioned it to a couple of people and they said, yeah, that's normally the time it takes to get into it. I was at my fifth speech. And I was like, yes, I'm actually enjoying this public speaking malarkey stuff that we're doing. And that brought some joy in this, because before that it was very much, okay, you know, you're going to stand up, you're going to speak because, you know, tick that box because you have to, because you trying to become a better speaker and this is what you need to do. And it was very much you doing it because I needed to or because I should or whatever. But after that it was like, no, I'm actually, where's the passion in it? What am I really enjoying about it? And that's when I grew to love what they call table topics. And this is where you get 2 minutes to talk about anything, but you're given a topic to talk about. You're given random questions and you just make up a speech as in the process. And the fun thing is you can make up anything. It can be as stupid and idiotic as possible. You can try tell a big lie and hopefully people believe you. It's just a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed that. And that just started to grow my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And then through this, I started to work towards what they call distinguished Toastmaster. And there's a lot of roles that you got to do. They're leadership roles, speaking roles. So the second event that really made me realize that, you know what, you can do anything that you want to and you can grow your confidence was when I received my plaque saying Natalie King, Distinguished Toastmaster. And I was like, yes. And I got that in 2019. And it was like, you know what? You can do anything. It just takes time, it takes effort. Because if I looked back to that first time I walked into Toastmasters meeting, I wouldn't have said boo to a goose. Yeah, I didn't talk. I just thought, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. I just kept going to the meetings and sitting there doing
You
nothing.
kept going to the meetings,
Yes, don't know why. I just kept going, but
right?
it was proof to me that if you keep going, keep doing it. And this is also when I realized it's a skill.
Hmm.
It's a skill. You can develop it. Because I just kept going and persevering,
Yeah.
I found the joy in it, because all of a sudden, well, not quite all of a sudden, but that's what it felt like. I was relaxed on stage. I enjoyed speaking. I enjoyed making up speeches or coming up with something to talk about. So those are the two things that really cemented for me that, you know what, you can do it.
It sounds from what you're saying, I had this go, it's like a light bulb moment, hits all of us, but
Mm.
it's something you're really struggling with, you're totally afraid of. I was afraid to go public speaking too. And when I became a coach, I said the best way to get new clients is to go speak at events. So I didn't do Toastmasters, I did something called speaking circles,
Mm-hmm.
which is similar but different.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go and like you're terrified. And then you have this light bulb moment when you break through. It's like, oh my God, I love this. But you don't know when that light bulb moment's going to come. You have to put in the work to get to it. Am
Yeah,
I
it
saying that?
doesn't
Yep.
happen
Kind of what you
overnight.
were saying, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how many introverts are actually speakers?
Yes. And writers.
Yes. Writers makes more sense than speakers. You think, but you don't like being with people. But
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of introvert speakers. Look at
But
us,
deep down, we
both of
do
us.
love the attention and we love it, but in a different way, I guess.
Mm,
It's a whole
mm.
nother call we could talk about for hours, probably. Yeah. So you said something about find your own way and you do you. You talked about that as one of the takeaways.
So you do you is something I'm very passionate about, because it's so easy to try and fit into a mold. You go to school, you try fit in. You get your first job, you try fit in. You go to university, you try fit in. You're always trying to fit into wherever you are.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, you try and fit in with that group of friends, or you try fit in with your family, or you try and fit in with those ideals, and you lose a sense of who you are. And I always and this is one of the reasons why I'm really passionate about be you, do you. Be who you are. Shine your own light. If you are a square peg trying to fit into a round hole, go look for a square hole to fit into, and be you, paint yourself pink and yellow if you want to, or whatever. Don't dim your light because you're trying to fit in. Rather stand out, be who you are meant to be. And through that, you become, it's almost like you can become more confident when you do that, because you're being true to yourself. And this is why, you do you, however it is. You won't be everybody's cup of tea. Some people might think, oh my word, that person is just off the planet. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Go find other people off the planet and, be with them. Not everybody's going to accept you for who you are. Find the people that will, and just do you. You do you.
I love that because, gosh, when I first started learning marketing, it said you create this fictitious character and you market from that perspective. I'm like, why would I make up someone different when I'm trying to get clients? And the
Be
more I
yourself.
became myself, the more I
Mm,
stood out, the more
mm,
successful I
mm,
became.
mm.
Because there's like
So you did
4
you.
million coaches on LinkedIn now, and there's 58 million people that have marketing in their profile. So how are you different from them? And it's
Exactly.
you doing you.
Hmm. Mm. Yes, because people will resonate with the real you, not the phony you, or the you persona that you putting on. They want to know who you are.
Right.
Especially now more than ever, we need more real.
Yeah. Yeah. I read a book a few years ago. I talk about it in a lot of when I speak on stage. It's called Presence by Amy Cuddy. And she's a Harvard law professor or Harvard professor.
Mhm.
And she talked about the subconscious mind makes decisions within 2 seconds of meeting people.
Yes, I
So,
love that book.
yeah. So if you're trying to be someone else, that's just such a mixed message.
It is, and you can't keep it up.
Yeah.
It's almost, quite often they say it's easier to remember the truth than it is to remember a lie.
Yeah.
And it's the same if you're not being true to you, or you putting on a persona. How do you remember what persona for when? And it can get quite confusing. So just you do you.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. 20 years ago, when I was learning the online marketing, and they would say, create these fictitious characters, and you kind of hide behind that persona, and people are never going to meet you personally. But yeah, but you're coaching people, trying to be this arrogant jerk. I mean, I'm not an arrogant jerk. It just doesn't work,
No, no.
because it's much easier to just tell the truth instead of keeping track of your lies.
Exactly.
So how long have you been doing this? When did you make this shift to helping people, coaching people?
So I originally started out as a life coach. I qualified as a life coach, and I qualified in 2018, but it wasn't fitting what I wanted to do. So I started to think about doing public speaking and helping business owners with their public speaking, because by that time I've started to fall in love with it. And then I was building that up and really growing that. And then, 2020 hit and things took a dramatic turn. And what I started to think was, okay, what do I really enjoy doing? What do I really love doing? And it was actually the coaching, the one on one coaching, and helping people in their business as well as helping themselves. But I didn't just want to do life coaching. So I took what I'd learned about confidence and I actually looked more into confidence, qualified as a confidence coach. And then I also help with the speaking bit, but I help more as networking or individual ways that business owners use speaking. So
Mm-hmm.
not so much the on stage speaking anymore. So I almost brought all my passions in together, shook it up, tipped it out, and said, okay, what have I got here? And this is where I've created the confidence coach and
Mm-hmm.
created my program that helps small business owners just find a way to run their business as them in
Yeah.
their own way. And it's been a process to get here, but like anything, it's a learning curve. You do a little bit, you and I think you've heard this before, launch and adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who I'm speaking
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
Launch and adjust. But I love this. It's trial and error, see what works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how essentially it happened. It just through life circumstances that made me have to change things, or just really looking to and sitting down and thinking, what do I really want to be doing?
Yeah.
And then just seeing what happens.
And once you get clear and confident on what you believe in, it resonates, and then you attract those people. That's what came across your LinkedIn profile. I was like, oh, this is just great. It's one of the best profiles I've seen. And there's so many
Oh,
bad
bless you.
ones.
Thank you. That's from the LinkedIn guy. That's a real. Ooh.
Everybody's so generic and bland. They're afraid to put themselves out there. I got certified as a coach in 2001. And I called myself a life coach. And no, you need to find a niche. Be yourself. Really focus in on a certain area. And like, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to turn away any clients. And of course, I didn't get any clients because I was so general.
Mm-hmm. No,
So
you
you get
do
really,
need to. We can help everybody, but not everybody wants our help. And to be honest with you, we don't really want to work with everybody, do we?
Right. If
So
you can focus on help people become more confident, they know exactly how you're going to help them.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just weird how it's just the opposite though. When you go through LinkedIn profiles or just talk to people, they're just so vanilla and plain.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate you saying that. It's taken me a long time not to be vanilla and plain and to come out of my introversion ways, but it is, and I think this is something that I've been learning with confidence. And you do you. If I'm telling my clients you do you and I'm hiding, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Right.
So I started I do I, if that makes sense, or
Yeah.
me do me.
Mm-hmm.
And that made such a difference. And this is why very much now I don't only say you do you, it's because I did me and I've realized the power in you do you.
Yeah. And as you grow, I mean, we're always all growing and evolving. People start following you and they become big fans because they resonate with where you're going. And you're like, oh my God, look where Natalie's going. Look what she's learned. I want to learn that too. I find that a lot with me as I keep learning and learning and
Mm.
learning. You can't just stop learning.
No, you have to
Things
keep
change
learning.
so fast.
Yeah,
I
you do
love the
need to
you do
keep learning.
you. That just really, that's perfect. So how can people get in touch with you and learn more about how you can help them?
So they can get in touch with me through LinkedIn, Natalie King, the confidence coach, or on my website, which is nataliekingcoaching.com. And either way, you can just send me a message or an email. And I'm always happy to have a conversation with somebody to see if I'm the right person for you, if you just want to have a talk, or yeah, let's work together. I have a variety of different ways that you can work with me.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been great.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I'll see you around LinkedIn. See you around.
Yes.
Sounds good.